And now I have a Dave Rabbit radio interview in, I think it was 2008, coming up. And listen to Brent again. He's kind of matured over the years and he's not as private as he was, but he's complaining about Loree McBride here. He actually goes out and says he's not married to her and says that they don't think alike, that she's like a publicity obsessed person, and she tells him he should be grateful that he's famous, and he's talking about how she doesn't understand him.
Well, speaking of that, I mean, when you go down the street, I mean, obviously, when you're out in California, there's a lot of Hollywood actors that walk around the streets and everybody gets recognized. Mm-hmm. Do you get tired of when people say that they go, Dana? Dana?
Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you the truth. I would prefer they didn't do that. I mean, I would prefer they went, or someone may very quietly come up to me and say, "Are you Data?" Well, no, of course not. I mean, look at me. I'm a human. He was an android. But I know what they mean, of course. I prefer if they say, "Are you Brent?" That would be nice. My girlfriend has this, I call her that because we can never think of anything else to call each other since we're not married.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Forever. Yeah. She really gets irritated with me if there's even the hint of being surly when somebody comes up and says something nice to me or recognizes me. I mean, she really has no patience with my rolling my eyes or anything. But she doesn't get it, because really what it is just discomfort. It's this thing of, I love being an actor. Being a celebrity is a whole other thing.
Oh, of course. Yeah,
and
right.
You bargain for it when you go into the big leagues, try to play in the big media. It's still, you never get quite used to being treated as if you're something special. I really kind of like the idea of being just one of the people, When I get sort of isolated and treated as if I'm something special, I kind of feel uncomfortable, and sometimes my eyes roll, and she really doesn't have any patience for that whatsoever. And she lectures me and says, "You should be really happy that people recognize you." Well, I am. It's just.
But doesn't it get to be a drag too, because you're at a restaurant with your family or friends or whatever, and you have to stop being Brent Spiner the individual and have to be Brent Spiner the actor?
And the polite actor. But the thing is, frankly, to be honest with you, the amount that I am recognized is sort of just right. I mean, it's never really obtrusive, and I'm not that famous, that I can't go to the grocery store or I can't go to a restaurant. I mean, I live my life just like a regular person. I go to the laundry, I go to the dry cleaners, whatever. It must be really difficult to be somebody like Tom Cruise
Nicholson. Nicholson, Tom Cruise.
Nicholson, who can't really do anything for himself. He has to have people do it for him, because he'd be swarmed wherever he goes. That would be nice. My girlfriend has this, I call her that because we can never think of anything else to call each other since we're not married.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Forever. Yeah. That would be nice. My girlfriend has this, I call her that because we can never think of anything else to call each other since we're not married.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Forever. Yeah. That would be nice. My girlfriend has this, I call her that because we can never think of anything else to call each other since we're not married.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Forever.
Yeah.
That would be nice. My girlfriend has this, I call her that because we can never think of anything else to call each other since we're not married.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Forever.
Yeah.
That would be nice. My girlfriend has this, I call her that because we can never think of anything else to call each other since we're not married.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Forever.
Yeah.
That would be nice. My girlfriend has this, I call her that because we can never think of anything else to call each other since we're not married.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Forever.
Yeah.
That would be nice. My girlfriend has this, I call her that because we can never think of anything else to call each other since we're not married.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Forever.
Yeah.
That would be nice. My girlfriend has this, I call her that because we can never think of anything else to call each other since we're not married.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Forever.
Yeah.
I want to point out the main differences between the Brent Spiner clone and the real Brent Spiner. The real Brent Spiner that I fell in love with in the early 1990s had a tenor voice, and he was a very private man. And when he spoke to me on the phone, I could tell he was very nervous, which indicates he was not a criminal. Very, very nervous. It was like he had these deep feelings in his heart, and they just kind of like blurted out, and I could tell. And when I got Brent Spiner's album, Oh Yellow Eyes Is Back, I realized that the real Brent Spiner was calling me on my phone and making love to me. And I'm going to let you see a clip of him that was taken during the third season of Star Trek The Next Generation, which would have been the year 1989-1990.
Brent Spiner's trailer. Brent Spiner, Data the android, possibly the most popular character on the show. Our little scoop. Brent! Brent! Brent? Well, he is working this afternoon, so maybe he just hasn't arrived yet. We'll come back later.
What?
Brent!
What?
Brent, I'm here with Movie Time. Remember?
Oh, right. Wait a minute. Wait, when did you say you're going to do this?
Now.
You're going to do this now?
Brent, we talked about it all last week.
Wait, no, I know. We talked about it. But you're going to do this now?
Yes.
Is that what?
Oh, look, we'll come back later.
No, all right. Well, don't get mad, Marina. I'll do it. Let's just... Can we do it out here? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Yeah? Does this look all right?
It looks
okay
fine.
Like this?
Yeah, okay.
Let me just... All right.
Okay. All right. Ready? Okay. First question. Did I wake you up?
Wait, I thought we were going to talk about my character.
Did you spend the night here?
No, I didn't spend the night here.
You did.
I didn't.
You did. I heard this. And I didn't believe it. You live in your trailer.
No,
don't you?
I don't live in my trailer. Are they shooting this? Are they filming this now?
No, they don't want this. They're going to cut
Because
this out. No, listen. Tell me, you live in your trailer, don't you?
I don't.
Brent, your dressing gown, you're wiping sleep out of your eyes.
All right. I live in the trailer. So what? Big deal.
Does Paramount know?
Well, I guess they do now if they're shooting this.
Brent, we are in the third year of a hit TV show. You could rent an apartment.
Look, this trailer has some very nice features.
What?
A, it's a great location. It's close to work. And B, it's free. That's a very nice feature. And C, I've looked around. I haven't found anything I like better.
I think we just better talk about Data.
You mind if I grab a quick shower first?
He's so cute there. That is the real Brent Spiner. You know, when I first started writing him, I noticed a lot of his fans were criticizing him because he didn't want to make public appearances. He hated going to conventions, Star Trek conventions, and he wanted to be very private. And as you can see, he's a very private person. He actually lied about living in the trailer because he didn't want the world to know he was living in his trailer. He's a very down-to-earth, humble guy. And I said, I really admire you, Brent, because I can tell that you're not an actor for the fame or the money, and that you're just doing this because this is a passion with you and you're just a great artist. And I said, I really admire you for this. And I admire you for being true to your vision and having the guts to pursue a passion. Because I was actually I've always been very artistic and creative. And at that time, I was subduing my artistic creative side. And Brent was part of my journey to help me find myself. So I wrote him and said, I really admire you for this, Brent. He was getting my letters at the time that Marina interviewed him. I'm not saying that he was thinking about me at this time, whether he might have been. I was getting a phone call once a month from a mystery caller who would not identify themselves. I think it was him. He's just a down-to-earth person. He doesn't care about fame or any of that stuff. And that's what I fell in love with. I said, I admire you for this. I said, I'm a Christian, and I've been taught that Hollywood is the cesspool. And you apparently can see that that fame isn't where it's at. And I said, I wanted to let you know I am behind you, and I think you have a perfect right to want to remain private as a celebrity. The fans cannot demand that you go public. And I think that's part of the reason he fell in love with me. And Loree McBride was claimed to be his publicist. The last thing in the earth he cared about at this time was his publicity. He didn't care about that stuff. And I forgot to mention, but notice the high tenor voice? Well, the way he sounded in this Marina interview, the voice was an exact match to the man who was calling me on my phone and making love to me in 1991. Now compare the humble, down-to-earth Brent Spiner with the fame-obsessed, arrogant Brent Spiner clone.
So what he thinks of her. So if we do get the chance, and I'm hoping we do. So good luck to me.
Good luck to you. I love you, Brent.
Hello, this question is for you, Brent Spiner. It's an honor to meet you.
Thank you, Nathaniel.
Along with stardom comes a lot of attention, some wanted, some unwanted. And there's this woman named Gail Chord Schuler who's become somewhat of an internet meme by devoting this crazy YouTube channel to you. I'm wondering if you've ever heard of her and if you have a response to her claims and so forth.
Well, you know, nobody here knows what you're talking about except for you. And
Okay, he says nobody here knows what you're talking about except for you. Already, he's showing how arrogant and fame-obsessed he is. That is not something the real Brent Spiner would say. First of all, Brent Spiner's been in love with me since 1990. Also, for your information, Nathaniel has actually come to my side over the past couple years, the one who's doing this interview, and the Brent Spiner clone has blocked Nathaniel at his Twitter now. And Nathaniel has not done any harassment of the Brent Spiner clone. Yes, that's right. Nathaniel, who did this interview, is now blind. Nathaniel didn't tell me to use his material, and I don't think he's going to mind me doing this, but I'm just going to let you know that the Brent Spiner clone has blocked Nathaniel from his Twitter because Nathaniel in the comments underneath this video is saying that he believes now that he was interviewing the clone.
so I'd be glad to answer you privately about that. But I do know about it. It's only been going on for about 22 years.
Oh my God.
That would be me. I'm next.
I've never met her or
for him.
spoken to her,
Sorry.
and she has a very rich fantasy life, and God bless her.
Thank you.
That clone, he's trying to fake like he's so worried about my mental health. Well, first, he's an imposter. He's not the real Brent Spiner. He has a totally different approach to life than the real Brent Spiner. The real Brent Spiner is a humble, down-to-earth, deep, introvert type of a guy. He doesn't like fame. He doesn't like the spotlight. He's a very deep, he's a thoughtful, deep person. This clone is shallow, fame-obsessed, and he has actually no talent. And he wouldn't have been able to pull this off when Star Trek The Next Generation was airing because the real Brent Spiner would have been able to easily expose him as a fraud. So he can do it now because Brent Spiner doesn't basically get any major roles. And so he can, he's basically ruined Brent Spiner's career because he's actually showed up at some casting calls, trying to get roles. And he's so horrible, nobody wants to hire him.
I'm calling the FBI.
I would like to say in Marina Sirtis's favor, I think that was also a Marina Sirtis clone there as well, not the real Marina, because Brent tells me the real Marina is one of my fans. And I actually heard Gates McFadden and LeVar Burton's voices on my telephone back in the 1990s when Brent put them on my phone.
Okay, Brent, let me ask you something. Which one of these two women are you afraid of? Which one?
This was during the Quebec trial when I took Loree McBride to court, and I asked that we put Brent Spiner on the stand to say which woman he was afraid of, me or Loree McBride, and he said Loree McBride. Notice the high-sounding tenor voice. That was Brent's, an actual voice recording, and what happened was Loree McBride was able to pull out a dildo that was about 16 inches long, which replicated Brent's long penis, and she slapped him over the head with it when he showed up to make that statement, so he ran away.
Better. I think we just better talk about data.
You mind if I grab a quick shower first?
I have no doubt that the man who called me on the phone in 1991 was this person. No doubt at all.